gentlemen of the council and the audience, it is 6:30. I will call this here meeting to order. This here meeting.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Call of the roll. Thornpeak. Anna.
Here.
Nichols.
Present.
Edler. That's you.
That's me.
You're here though.
Present.
Schaefer.
Shut here.
Twice. Here.
Mr. Nichols, is the forecast looking a lot better for this meeting
Yes,
compared to
much
last
better.
time? Okay.
Very good. Very good.
On to number 4, the approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda.
I second it.
Nichols.
Aye.
Warnke.
Aye.
Edler.
Aye.
Schaefer.
Aye.
Twice. Yep. Aye. Very good.
On to
The sheriff's deputy is in town, he's sitting at City Hall. I don't know if it's somebody new and they thought it was there, but they were sitting at City Hall, so I'm sure it's being at some, that they're being noted. So,
perfect. Works for me. Yeah, they show up, they do it, they don't. On to number 5. Thank you for that. On to number 5, presentations. First, we have Cassie Riley with Metro Waste Authority.
Hello, thank you for having me. Good evening, everyone. I am with Metro Waste Authority, and we are a government agency that was established in the late 60s to manage a proper landfill for the region. And then since that time, we've evolved into recycling processing facility in Grimes, as well as 6 other facilities. So we manage a total of 8 facilities to make sure that garbage, recycling, hazardous material, and everything in between is properly handled for the region that we serve, which is mostly Polk County, but it's sprinkled into Jasper and Warren and a couple of other counties as well. So I just wanted to come and give an update this evening and thank you for your engagement with our agency. For the city of Elkhart, we oversee your curbside recycling program, and we do that as part of a program that assists 110,000 homes throughout the metro. So 110,000 homes total are on the curbside recycling program, just like you have here in the city. And so what that means is consistent cart, look and feel, hauler, guidance from customer care, and then all of that material goes to that processing facility in Grimes that we manage. About 20,000 tons of material is collected through that curbside recycling program every year, and that's processed right there in Grimes. And so when people ask, is recycling really recycled? Yes, we can assure you that it is. We will take you inside the facility where it is recycled and processed and then baled into separate categories to be sold. So at the end of the day, what I would like everyone to think about with Metro Waste Authority is we should be very proud of the organization that our leadership put together more than 60 years ago to manage all this infrastructure on our behalf, to keep our waterways safe, to make sure that as garbage decomposes, it's held in a sealed cell to protect our ground water and our soil for future generations. And the landfill that we manage is outside Mitchellville. It's the largest landfill in the state of Iowa. We are the largest solid waste agency in Iowa, and all of the cities that formed us own this agency. So we're here to serve, and we're making sure that we're protecting the environment and creating the infrastructure that's needed to manage long-term. As we all know, the metro keeps growing and growing. A couple of highlights I wanted to share for Elkhart specifically. We currently manage just over 300 homes for the city, and last year, 46 tons of recycling was brought in through that curbside program. In addition to that, you guys have partnered with us on a few different drop-off opportunities, which we really appreciate. Hopefully you've seen the battery drop-off at City Hall. Those have been wildly successful. We have about 30 of those throughout the metro, including the one here in town. And we've collected almost 20,000 pounds in the first year of those being introduced. And the reason that's so important is we find people are more than happy to do the right thing. They really want to contribute to the greater good. It has to be convenient. And convenience to you and to you might be a little bit different. And so the more we can just put it right in people's backyard, right next to the places that they're going all the time, that is where we find the most delivery on asking people to do things like that. So making drop-offs like that readily available are very, very important. So thank you for your partnership in that. The other reason I would say those are so important is because fires are one of the biggest dangers and difficulties that we have to deal with in managing the facilities that I'm talking about. So we manage the largest landfill in Iowa. We have a very large compost operations, which is where yard waste gets recycled into local compost, which you may have heard of. The recycling processing facility in Grimes. We have 2 transfer stations. Each of those facilities experiences fires at least monthly. And that is a big lift for our staff. Most of them we handle ourselves. Hopefully the staff sees it right away, they catch it, they put it out. Sometimes they don't. Fires have a tendency to like to start after hours or in the middle of the night. And then we've got to call people in and they have a tendency to fester before they make themselves known to us. And so keeping batteries and electronics out of curbside disposal is what helps us turn down the number of fires that we're dealing with at those facilities, at that infrastructure that we're managing on behalf of all of us. And so helping people do the right thing and know that batteries and electronics like laptops and iPads don't belong in the garbage, but they need to be taken to those drop-offs, has done a lot to help reduce the number of fires that we're dealing with and also get those items channeled to the right disposal opportunity. So again, it's a huge win for us and we really appreciate the partnership on that. A couple of other items. Last year, the city partnered with us to offer a free scrap tire drop off for residents. And so the purpose of that is just to help people do the right thing with their tires, help them not end up in, ditches in rural areas. And we know sometimes getting things all the way to the landfill can be a lift for people. So again, just trying to make that more convenient. So over 3 tons of tires were disposed of for free by residents last year. Metro Waste Authority is happy to partner with the city to provide that community benefit. So again, just in summary, we're here to serve. We appreciate the opportunity to partner with you. We're managing those 8 facilities on behalf of the region to ensure that there's a place for hazardous material to go and garbage and recycling, that it can be properly handled in a safe manner to protect us all in the long term. And thank you to Jill for serving on our board for the city. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
I do have one question.
Yes, please.
Sharps containers. I have several Sharps containers that I need to dispose of. Where do we dispose those at? Like, I
Are
know
they
there's
for
locations
personal
that-
use?
Yes.
So Sharps containers, like the red actual container for Sharps, as long as they're properly contained like that, they can be brought to the hazardous waste drop-off in Bondurant by residents for free.
Okay.
You can also bring Sharps in a heavy plastic container, such as a Tide detergent container. It has to be that heavier plastic with the lid closed and taped, and you can also bring that for free from residents to hazardous waste drop-off in Bondurant. For hazardous material, there's also a way to get it to collect the house side. A resident can pay a one-time fee of $25, and we drop off a red bin, sort of like a Rubbermaid tote, and a large bag. And so then you can package your light bulbs and your Sharps and your paint and other things that would normally have to require a trip to Bondurant in that box, and then we come and pick it up for you for a one-time fee of $25. So we, again, try to package the convenience in a way that works for everybody.
Thank you.
Where did you say the battery drop off was?
At City Hall here in town.
In City Hall or just outside the city?
Inside.
Inside?
In the vestibule area. Yeah. And you can put laptops, iPads, earbuds, old cell
In
phones,
the electronics?
batteries, as long as they fit through the slot, yes.
Just squeeze it hard enough.
I'll leave it to you.
Persistent.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Letter B, Logan Sanders with corrective asphalt materials.
All right, how's everybody doing tonight? Thanks for Katie setting this up. I just wanted to introduce myself. I see a couple familiar faces, some of you from APWA. And yeah, I'm Logan. I'm with Corrective Asphalt Materials. We've been doing asphalt preservation, working with asphalt pavements for cities, counties, DOTs across the Midwest for about 50 years. Our products were introduced back in the 50s, so we got plenty of time under our belts to and go back to and look at different applications and everything. So tonight we are talking about our product CRF. A little bit about our products. All of our products utilize a technology that was developed back in the 50s by a scientist called maltine replacement technology. So what does that mean? It's not rocket science. If you understand the chemical composition from a 10,000 foot view, there's three different pieces of asphalt pavement. You've got rock, you've got maltine content, and asphaltene content. So asphaltenes are essentially the powder and the binder. Maltine content is the gluey, sticky, flexible part, if you will, basically that locks the rock into the road. So each of our products are refined out of a crude oil source. I'm sure some of us remember when roads used to last 15, 20 years without doing any maintenance on them. That's just not the case anymore. So over the years, the refining process has gotten better and better. Well, what does that mean for our pavements? We get the bottom of the barrel, so what goes under our asphalt roadways is not quite the same as what it was 50 years ago. So instead of refining out 4 or 5 different things, they're refining out 50 things, and then we get what's left. So why is maltine replacement technology important for your asphalt roadways and what we're talking about doing here in town? The more of that maltine content we can replenish into your roadways, the longer we can keep them sealed from moisture and add some flexibility back into them. So as the road oxidizes out, the maltine content oxidizes. What does that do? Starts to allow cracking and pockets from aggregate losing basically a hole in the road, and then you get potholes, cracking, all these things leading to moisture retention. So CRF, our product, is designed for older roads. Basically, we've got this base oil that we use in all of our products, the maltine replacement side. But being that it's for older roads, we actually have asphalt back into it. So it goes down into emulsion. Dark black almost looks like asphalt going down. The difference is about half of this product penetrates into the asphalt roadway, restoring some of those chemical characteristics. So you wonder, what does the asphalt in the mix do? Well, it stays on the surface, fills in some of those voids, seals up the cracks that are already there. We can't fix. What this means is put this down on your roadway, put some screenings down, let cars drive on it, pack those screenings into the roadway. So you'll see sand on your roads for about 5 or 6 days, come back and sweep it. And over the next 3 months, it'll start to keep back in color, makes it some scuffing for residents. So expect to be seeing something a little bit different on the roadways as we move forward with this. But we will do resident notifications and kind of thing. Get everything. What does this mean for you? It means you don't have to spend several hundreds of thousands of dollars to repave this road here in 5 years. When it starts to come on down, we can keep 7, 10 years with this product. I know that I've went out and driven these roads. They're still in good enough shape where you're gonna get kind of a ladder in with that life extension for basically a fraction of the cost. So with preservation, the idea is you spend a little money up front to save a lot of money down the road. And what that means is for every like $1 or $2 of asphalt preservation and life extension treatment early on, it saves lots of money down the road in terms of things, maintenance and that stuff. Because as the roads get worse, the treatments needed to get them up to a certain level, it's more expensive. So for our product, it's somewhere around $2 a square yard. You'll see other products later in its life that are going to be up to $5 to $6. So if we get to it early, we can basically push out that life and delay those cost center treatments or overlay some, get some time to budget for them. Do I have any questions? I wanted to pass this down to you just to show some examples of what that product looks like every week, a month, a year, just so you guys can see kind of what to expect.
So first question, from a leveling standpoint, there's areas on the road that people obviously break down. Does this product offer any leveling benefit to it, or does it just kind of overlay what's there and seal the water that's already on the road still? Because right now it's kind of running off through the cracks and leaving the roadway eventually. I'm just curious.
Depends on kind of the area that you're talking about. So like, I know I was talking to Ron, and one of the things we talked about, if there's some deeper pockets, we're going to patch those. So the stuff that we're not going to be able to fill in, I mean, we'll get smaller voids. They're not going to get completely filled in. What this product is really doing is penetrating in. Even the cracks that you're going to see after the fact are going to be sealed. So you'll see that water start to run up. So we're keeping it pushed out. So even in the cracks, you'll see it.
Okay.
The water.
So it can seal the patches. Okay, that was because I know Ron and I had talked about that. as
Yeah.
well.
I actually brought you guys some product, and Ron's not here tonight, I'll drop it, but maybe I can bring it in.
Just take it out on the road and fly quick.
Yeah, I didn't think you guys don't even know what now, but we're gonna go.
Few spots, we got going up for you.
Yeah.
And then is there any, so 10 years from now, the road needs to be replaced. Is there any complications created by putting this down? If they do a tear off or they do an overlay, there's no counterindication to having this down and then trying to, it's not gonna cost us more to tear it later because it's, I think it's here.
So it is, you're putting what's originally in the road and then asphalt back onto it. The only difference is you're getting a very thin layer of asphalt on top as well.
Okay.
And it's, you're not adding any height to it. It's basically filling in.
So that's fair.
If you go to like, micro surface or some more expensive down the road, this will actually create a bonding surface for it.
Okay.
So it'll make it more uniform on the surface, assuming you guys match it, the sections.
I think that's good to have as well.
Yeah, it plays nicely with, future.
Appreciate that.
Oh, also, you guys all have the flyers as well.
Yeah.
I figured you probably want to see some, so. I can leave that with you and just pick it up at a later date if you guys want to kind of dig through that, so.
We don't get that and the sample at the same time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I can give you the bucket now, you guys really want to go outside, but.
Well, we had a motion before we started the meeting to have a meeting outside.
Do you have a garden sprayer in the back of your truck? Cause I can bring mine. Mine blew up this winter.
We can make something happen. Council, any questions? Comments?
I was gonna say, I'll leave that with you, Katie. I'll just bring it back up for the next trip up, maybe. I'm gonna be in town tomorrow for a little bit, so, yeah, maybe we can put something down for you guys tomorrow. We're gonna try this one, but, my contact info is on there. If anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out at any point. So always happy to help. I tell people it's not the most exciting thing in the world, but it's the most exciting thing. Thank you guys for your time and, yeah, please reach out.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it.
To number 6, citizen hearing and other communications, as Jill mentioned, we might have a lieutenant or sergeant or somebody maybe perhaps floating around.
Yeah, maybe he's new and doesn't know what
If
either.
they show up, we'll come back to them. Otherwise, moving on to letter B, Scott Greer, Fire Chief. Sir, good evening. TJ, thank you.
22 calls of service since last meeting, 2 hazardous material calls, 1 fire, 13 EMS, and 6 rescues. Year to date, if we keep up the pace that we're on, we're looking at about a 20 to 25% increase over calls from last year. And again, we don't do a lot for mutual aid because the way the county views us, we aren't seen as a fire department really. So those calls are our own. We don't go on mutual aid with any of our neighboring partners. So those are just what's in our local jurisdiction. We participated this past week in 2 different soccer send-offs for North Pole girls varsity soccer team. Once on the first game, and then on the finals game. Lose track of the days because things got rescheduled for weather. I think it's Friday. We participated both times, escorted them up to Highway 210. Excuse me, on Saturday to go to their games. We participated in the fishing derby down at the park. As we've done for the last several years, hosted the Blue League Central Iowa All-Stars. They do their draft, I guess you could say. All the kids try out at the park, then the coaches come up to the fire station and discuss all the players and decide who they want, who they don't want. So I think there's 3 nights they came up and used the station. Of course, this weekend, the park is pretty busy. We've got the city festival, pancake breakfast. Gonna try to bring a truck up for Touch a Truck. We've got to work the truck pull. And then the fireworks later in the evening. I think we have to have a presence there as well. Over the past month, we have training twice a month, second and third Thursday at 6:30. But in addition to that, sometimes there are other trainings that come up. I sent a crew up to Huxley. They had a controlled burn at a house that they had acquired. So we took the tanker up there, thought we were gonna have the opportunity to haul some water. We did not. They had plenty of water, but some of our folks had the opportunity to do some interior firefighting up there in that acquired house, which was tremendous opportunity. We didn't think that was going to be the case. The next day, many of us, about 2/3 of the department actually went up to Maxwell for the Iowa Fire Service Training Bureau's burn simulation trailer. We went through several revolutions, doing some interior firefighting, search and rescue type stuff in that, in that trailer. Many times when a department brings that in, the only way Fire Service Training Bureau pays the bill is if you have at least 12 people to attend. So if Cambridge or Maxwell or us brings that in, getting 12 people to want to participate can be difficult. So many times we pool our resources to try to get those 12 people so that the Bureau will pay for that prop and the instructors to come. It's a 4-hour course generally when we do those. So we want to participate in that. And then, it's kind of a proud moment this past Thursday. A community member approached, really appreciative of the work that we've done, and we helped a couple of their family members out over the last couple of years. So they bought us Nona's Pizza from Ankeny, and in lieu of our training on Thursday night, I was going to cancel it because we'd done a lot of other trainings along the way. We went ahead and still had it, and we enjoyed pizza from Nona's thanks to a community member. So it was well received by the department, that's for darn sure. And I didn't have to cook. And then on the agenda, I think it's letter J. I've got a new member that wants to join the department, Jeremy Beaver. He lives here in town. I've talked to him and his lovely bride a few times about joining. They've got a bit of a background in fire. However, after lightning struck their house and we responded to their house, he decided that maybe that now was the appropriate time to join. He actually commented that he thought we were rather competent with what we were doing. Seemed like a professional type fire department, and he wanted to be a part of us. He's got a background in the military, does security work now. So I'd like to have him added to the roster for the fire department. That is, I think it's letter J.
Yes.
Any questions past that?
Council?
No, thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right.
As always.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Yes, also, thank you. Very good. On to letter C then. Any public comments for things not on the agenda? Public comments going once, going twice.
We've used that product that guy had for
The,
city hills.
oh, the asphalt, okay. Very good.
Good results. Not so good results.
Well,
Middle of the road, no pun intended.
How long ago was it?
the roads were not very old when they did it.
Okay.
And the newer the asphalt, the better. I will say that. The problem is when that was put on, you've got to wait so long before you can drive one. Because cars take the same path going down the road. So you always got a spot that there's nobody in. And they had to let it seal. It did what they said it was gonna do. And they extended a little bit. But some of our streets are in bad enough shape that it's not gonna revive a lot of into your overlays and your patches and your stuff like that. There's a bunch of that that have to be done before that product could be put on for what it costs.
Very good. Thank you, sir. There's nothing else. We move on from public comment section and on to number 7, the consent agenda. Is there anything that we needed to pull out, discuss, talk about, abstain from? comment on, questions on?
Motion to approve the consent agenda?
A second it.
Yeah, just making sure that's something I want. No. Nope, we've got the motion second. Then we'll go to Nichols. Perfect. Warnke.
Aye.
Adler.
Aye.
Shaver.
Aye.
Morris. Okay. On to number 8, business items. Excuse me. First, letter A, ordinance number 2026-5, an ordinance amending chapter 76 bicycle regulations. This is the first reading of the ordinance. Katie, did you want to speak on this any further, or did council have any questions or comments on it, or a combination thereof? I know we hinted at it last month, and I think we were gonna try to discuss it, and then, or was it the UTV? It was the UTV ordinance that got.
That got to me.
That's gonna be, we're gonna talk about that later, but, I'll shut up, you go ahead.
No, this is on the agenda tonight because of our discussion at the last meeting with the concern with the safety with all the electric scooters going around town. So this ordinance, was recently passed by another city in Iowa. There are lots of cities talking about it right now as well. But basically this ordinance adds definitions, and some, repercussions basically, to include the, with the bicycle regulations. It includes electric scooters and devices that are similar. They're defined as micro-mobility devices. So it is basically making them adhere to the same rules that are bicyclists in town.
I thought I had read on somebody else's just this week, they were trying to adopt something similar to this. They also required like electric scooters and electric bicycles to have a license, I think, to be licensed to be able to drive on the streets.
Well, the e-motos have to be licensed, because that's Anthony has put some out, and I was gonna ask,
Yeah, I think
I
they,
think the e-motos are separate from anything we've got in this, because that's just an electric motorcycle, which, yeah, it does have to be licensed and registered, and you have to be old enough to drive it. But the e-bikes are kind of this other thing. So at some point we might have to look, I can't say that I've seen a ton of e-motos running around town, but everything just seems like a matter of time, so that might be something down the road we have to consider, and I know Anthony's, thing that they put out was discussing e-bikes, up to a speed of, 28 miles an hour is the defining difference for them. Now, Anthony's in a different boat than we are because they specifically want to keep the e-bikes and the scooters off of the roads and on the sidewalks. And we would like them to be where they're going to be safest, which we don't have sidewalks everywhere, so that kind of wrecks that, but yeah, I'm okay with this. I don't have any issue with this. I just think down the road, we might have to put in something in regards to e-motos as we continue.
Yeah, and
I didn't
obviously-
make up that word, it's a silly word.
No, and obviously the overbearing issue is enforcement, how do we, and et cetera, and as we asked the, Lieutenant Sergeant, who was here last week, or last month, excuse me. Photos, videos, the video evidence of what's going on. I know we had a citizen that reached out to me, a short story that, was an ATV ripping up and down the streets, and they reached out to me and, hey, have you seen this? And long story short, they got a video, contacted McCall County, sheriff rolled up and then witnessed them ripping up and down the streets and blowing stop signs, and I'll be darned if I haven't seen the ATV since, so. It comes down to, yes, there's only so much that Polk County can do, and they can only be so many places at one given time. But it takes us, the old saying, it takes a village, and it literally takes us to step up, and the old see something, say something, and then be proactive, so. Mr. Adams, you had a great
Yes, I
comment.
almost rode over an electric motorcycle today with a kid on it with red curly hair sticking out of a black helmet. And there would and worried about filling a hole in Main Street, because he pretty well filled it in. And through there, and you could have put a little of that stuff on top of it, and you never told me. I did call the sheriff, but I'll tell you, and I told the sheriff, he's a good friend of mine in through there. I don't care what police department it is, what law enforcement agent or anything, it's absolutely positively worthless without the phone. So if you're too chicken to pick the phone up and call, then there's no use in you even saying a word.
No, I'm good with that. I know I've taken the angry dad approach from my driveway, and I've been yelling at kids who are blowing stop signs and scooters.
I
so.
called the sheriff today and they were here within 3 minutes.
Mhm.
Now, whether the lad got picked up or not, I got an idea where he went. And I got numbers that'll make that kid sweat.
Yeah, I think my wife had a similar incident with the same, motorcycle that you're speaking on. I'll call it motorcycle, e-moto,
Moto.
Right in
whatever.
the middle of that someplace into there. But
Yep, I've got dash cam footage of him flying past my wife on Main Street, so.
Yeah, it's always Maine and Lincoln. It's really their friends.
somebody in one of the bars doing that.
Nope, just a reminder for all of us to keep our heads on a swivel and look out and obviously double check before backing out of parking spaces and everything as well, because you never know. I mean, yes, they need to slow down, yes, they need to be paying attention, but so do we as motorists as well, so. Are there any other comments from council or anything else quick input from the audience? I'll allow that for moments. I'd like to think we're all kind of on the same page of like, yeah, we need to get something more.
I had one thing. This is a question for Katie. Would it be beneficial, not now, but later, of separating non-electric ones versus the electric ones on a future date? Because there's so many of them that are coming out. I know we have one for ATV and snowmobiles and the other things. And then we have one for bicycles. Would it be, based on the ones you've looked at, would it be more beneficial to keep bicycles and ones that don't have a battery separate than ones that have electrical power?
That may be a good idea, just because we're seeing more and more of these types.
Because we're gonna have electric skateboards, we're gonna
Yeah.
have like the little kids with the 3-year-olds with the little Jeeps that are driving around, the batteries and all that. Power boards and stuff like that. There's just more of them, hoverboard, yeah.
Depends on the city of what they have, but some do separate them out already, and yes, I agree with you, I think that's something we should look at doing.
Some of your electrics have pedals, so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the thing. It's hard because some of them are e-moto and some of them are not, like e-bicycle is okay, but e-moto is not okay. So how do you?
That's
Separate
exactly,
them.
that is the place, right there. How do you?
Yeah.
Well, because Ian had mentioned put the e stuff in one category and the bicycles in another. You can't. You could do that, but not do that because e-bikes are different than e-motos. So like a power wheel is different than a e-moto, you know, so I think it needs to be, but I don't know how we would.
it wasn't a resident in Elkhart, it was from a different town that had mentioned that as someone that does competitive cycling, they feel like their community is getting harassed because of all the ordinances are going in, that they feel like they're being attacked because they're being jointed up.
Okay.
So again, that wasn't a resident from Elkhart, but it's just something that popped in.
I think we can continue to evolve this as we need to. I think this is a really good framework. I didn't see anything in it I was concerned about, and it gets something in place, and then,
Bingo,
yeah, I think every community is gonna be evolving these over some time here, so at least then we've got something started.
Yeah, and exactly as everybody's kind of alluded to, Jill, and everybody's like okay, yes, it's the e-bike, but then wow, okay, how fast can they go on their electric side versus their manual side, if you will, and there's a fine line, but there's not, but there is, but that's just more of looking into it, but as Angie said, I would agree that, you know, at least getting something going in place and then refine it and hone it, and as new technology comes out and the darn things get faster.
Let's get something put in place. I'd be in favor of waiving second and third readings if that's possible. Otherwise, we're gonna lose 2 months of summer before we can get to the third reading, and it'll be August. If anybody has any objections with that, we don't have to do it that way, but as the Polk County deputy said, or sergeant said last month, if we don't have something to enforce, he can't enforce it. So I'd rather get something in place ASAP. That way, we can always amend it as we go, but that'd be my preference.
I would agree.
Agreed.
Would you like to make that official motion then?
Yeah, motion to approve ordinance number 2026-5, waiving the second, third readings and adopting. I don't know if I can do that all in one motion or not, but
Let's separate them
what do you
out.
want me to do?
Let's, motion and second to approve the first reading and
Perfect.
then go into motion and second to waive.
And
Second.
approve, yep. Motion to approve ordinance, the first reading of ordinance, 2026-5.
Second.
I have a second. Nichols.
Aye.
Warnke.
Aye.
Edler.
Aye.
Schaefer.
Aye.
Fordice.
Aye.
Brad, do you want to spearhead then your remainder?
Motion to waive the second and third readings of ordinance number 2026-5 and adopt motion tonight.
I second that.
Nichols?
Aye.
Pause. Would you like the adoption separated as well? Okay,
No,
so, apologies.
never mind.
No, well, yeah,
Motion to waive the second and third reading of ordinance number 2026-5.
that's good, yeah.
I second.
Okay, Nichols.
Aye.
Warnke.
Aye.
Adler.
Aye.
Schaefer.
Aye.
Fordice.
Aye.
And last but not least,
Motion to adopt ordinance number 2026-5.
Second.
Nichols.
Aye.
Warnke.
Aye.
Edler.
Aye.
Schaefer.
Aye.
Fordice.
Aye.
All good, Deb? Okay, I was gonna make sure she's coming on. Letter B, resolution 2026-41, a resolution approving city staff wages for fiscal year 2027.
So in May, we held employee annual performance reviews for all of our full-time employees, and we had filed all those away in each employee's file, but the new staff wages are supported by the new fiscal year budget starting July 1, and those are proposed in that resolution in your packet. It was based on the Midwest CPI rate increase for inflationary costs.
So questions, comments? Take it with them.
I make a motion to approve resolution 2026-41.
Second.
Nichols.
Aye.
Warnke.
Aye.
Edler.
Aye.
Schaefer.
Aye.
Fordice.
Aye.
Letter C, excuse me, ordinance 2026-2, an ordinance amending the Elkhart Code of Ordinances, chapter 92, to provide new water rates. This is the third and final reading. That's pretty straightforward unless there's any other comments or anything, questions. If not, approve and let's adopt.
A motion to approve ordinance 2026-2.
Second.
Excuse me, Nichols.
Aye.
Warnke.
Aye.
Edler.
Aye.
Schaefer.
Aye.
Fordice.
Aye.
Letter D, then ordinance 2026-3, an ordinance amending the Elkhart Code of Ordinances, chapter 99, to provide for new sewer user rates. This is also the third and final reading.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 2026-3.
I second.
Nichols.
Aye.
Warnke.
Aye.
Edler.
Aye.
Schaefer.
Aye.
Fordice.
Aye.
Let's replace. Yes. Ordinance number 2026-4, an ordinance amending the Elkhart Code of Ordinances, chapter 100, to provide a new stormwater service charges. Once again, third and final reading.
Motion to approve ordinance number 2026-4.
Second.
Nichols.
Aye.
Warnke.
Aye.
Edler.
Aye.
Schaefer.
Aye.
Fordice.
Aye.
F, Frank, resolution 2026-42, a resolution approving nuisance abatement. Katie, do you have any comments on this, or do we just want to dive right into it? Or-
Don't have any comments. I included a memo for information purposes of what properties are included in the resolution.
Council, any questions or comments? If not, do I have a motion?
Motion to approve resolution 2026-42.
Second.
Nichols.
Aye.
Warnke.
Aye.
Edler.
No.
Schaefer.
Aye.
Fordice.
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 9, discussion items. Letter A, review the current UTV/ATV ordinance. Bring that up here. Right now, if I read this correctly, we more or less follow what the state of Iowa is doing, has in place. I know if you read through it, it gets a little, for me at least, it got a little confusing where the verbiage of ATV and UTV shall not be operated in town under basically improper operation, but then as you read farther, it's better explained. Do we have any proposed changes or comments or clarification, or do we do we want to be more strict? Do we want to be, I guess we can't be more lenient than we already are. We're probably on what Iowa says, but
I don't necessarily want to come in town that bans it though. There's a right way and a wrong way.
Is there an original concern that brought us to look at this, or were we just double checking?
I think it's been mentioned to me in the past,
Okay.
looking at it. I don't remember what member who brought it up, but yes, I wanted to bring it towards your attention while we're looking at
Yeah.
certain ordinances.
and I've had some questions in the past from friends of mine, because I own one as well. Several folks in town, some more friends of mine, and just people as well that own them, and I think for the most part, we all operate, everybody that I know, at least operates them responsibly and safely and all that, and that's like the e-bikes and scooters, there's unfortunately always going to be some, and that's why we have to have these rules, and again, whether those are followed or not is down to enforcement and all that, but no, it's this is just kind of going through, and as you said, somebody had mentioned it, just reviewing, do we want to do anything different? Do we want to put any limitations or stipulations or anything? Are we happy with how it's written, how it's laid out?
As an owner and user, do you have an opinion?
As far as how our current code is written, I don't see an issue with it. I mean, as long as you're not jumping ditches and you're not on private property and you're not destroying property and everything, you're subject to following the rules of the road, essentially. The state of Iowa, slow moving vehicle triangle has to be affixed and 35 max. I've got opinions on that. But that's probably not neither here for there. We can't supersede the state of Iowa on that, so. I think it's comical that I'm limited to 35 miles an hour and I'm safer than a motorcycle. But that's again, my opinion, so.
We haven't had any Polk County Sheriff's concerns brought forward. It doesn't seem like there's been any citations that stood out to them, so I don't have any concerns with the way it's written right now. It seems enforceable and some of the people are sticking to it for the most part.
I think we have more problems with motorcycles than we do with patients.
It was worth looking into it. I do think that was about, yeah, I didn't see anything when I read through it that I was concerned about, but I did want the opinion of someone who actually has one, so.
It just comes down to safe operation, like anything, in your car, your truck, your motorcycle, you're gonna have safe operations and not being an idiot, to put it bluntly, so. Now, so if you're good with it, we'll move on. Okay. Letter B then, Elkhart Cemetery East Expansion discussion item. I see a couple Elkhart Cemetery board members here in attendance.
Yeah, could you guys move this to the front, because we're close to death. We could expire before.
I just wanted to see you.
This was a short meeting.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
May I introduce Chris Doubleday?
No,
Should've
there's-
brought that puppy with you.
I should have. She got loose today and she bit it on for me in the front step.
Oh.
I know the eastward expansion of the, not that I don't love puppies, but, I have three, well, I call them puppies, but they're little terrorists.
So they're gonna die soon, so we gotta keep them.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Anyway.
Can you please arrange the agenda in order?
That's right.
Future.
Should we legally? No, don't answer that, don't answer that.
Moving on.
Yes, I know for quite some time, I think even since before I became mayor, there's been talk of wanting to expand the cemetery, be it east, be it north, be it, obviously we can't go farther down, but, well, we could, never mind. You get the point, but where and more and room as more residents move in, can I phrase it like that? There needs to be more room, and I don't disagree with that. But it's just a matter of where and safely and floodplains and then tile lines and all the things that have been brought up and discussed. So I guess I will look to you guys, Katie and Jill, I'll look to you guys at where has discussions gone in your board meetings, where are we at with engineers and
Yeah,
whoever wants to go for it.
I'll just give a brief overview. So Chip provided kind of a map of what the board was considering and looking at for an expansion idea. The board did meet and look it over. We sent it over to Beanstar and Kim. They provided this preliminary map of the addition. Chip has had a chance to review. He reviewed the first draft and then this is the final draft. So I believe he is on board with this format, with this plan. And then, yeah, that's pretty much all I had.
It's a lot larger than the first draft, which is fine. It
Yes.
seems like it just grew a lot larger than the original draft was, so is that something that Eastern people were concerned about, or they thought it was fine, or what was the conversation? in
Yeah.
that?
I don't think there was any concern with it. We just discussed, you know, it's a plan. So we don't have to map out all the lots right now, but this, this plan will be in place for many years down the road. And that's why the future drive was included in it as well. But Jordan, if you wanted to touch on.
Yeah, I don't have a lot to add. I mean, I think we followed Chip's lead in terms of what he drew out and, wanted us to do, and, we've got this ready to record, basically. I mean, we drew it up in CAD, so as much as you guys wanna do, we'll do, and, wanna make it a little bit smaller, we can do that.
Well, it really, more or less, really adheres to what the cemetery is like now, the location and the placement of the plots. Each one represented, well, we're getting 120 plots.
Do you know how many Chip wants to start with?
You
How
can
many
put
wants
it
to
in your own
Eventually,
place.
Eventually.
I think what Chip wants to do, first of all, is on each corner, drive a stake in just more or less as a guideline, especially in the winter time, if you can't locate those discs. He would know, by the location of those. That was one thing he mentioned. I think he talked to you, Katie, about how many discs to order, right?
Yep, I have that paper here.
Mhm.
And then on the eastern portion of the cemetery right now, he wants it to be a little wider for parking because it's kind of hard. When there's a funeral, and especially if there's snow, bad weather, or whatever, it's not much room to get around there. So he'd like you guys to build a second story.
Parking
I'm
garage.
sure that's in the budget, right?
Yes.
No, but he says we should leave that just a little wider for more
Yeah.
parking.
We could put them in touch with the documentations, parking and parking garages for public.
Would a designated grass parking area be more of a priority than the third edition?
That's a good question.
That way you don't have to worry about not having the room on them.
Yeah,
I mean, eventually then we would use the area for the grass for the third edition, but
right.
would that be?
Well, how many do we need right now? Like, we're pretty full, aren't we?
Well, oh, yeah.
I mean, we have a no vacancy sign, right?
We have 7 now.
7.
No, residents are on.
Yeah, nobody died.
We
Nobody's
did,
moving out anytime soon.
That's right.
we did briefly talk about in the future, possibly putting in some gravel parking or something like that, but I mean, that's against code ordinances as it is now, so we have to get.
That was gonna be one of my comments and questions.
It could be done, but it would
Right.
have to be a variance, it would have to be accepted. We're not to that point right now, but eventually it could be a possibility. Maybe it's not what they're looking for in the future either, but.
I know there's been some recent tile work done in that general area, and I don't quote me on exactly where on the map it's been here, but I know one of the concerns in the past, and then I looked to you folks and, with flooding, and if we get the heavy rains, it pools up in that area pretty good. Or from an engineering standpoint now with the tile lines that have been repaired, replaced, fixed, what have you, are we more comfortable with that, not backing up as bad or not flooding as bad? And I know that was one concern for Public Works.
I don't know the extent of where it flows, but according to Chip, while we were out there, I think all of this is set a little bit away from where that is. And as we move east, assuming we go from west to east, we can address that as we go too, whether that's, rerouting tiles, regrading a little bit, things like that, and try to continue to push that over.
Well, that's where you don't go. 3 east or west sections we got now. I've been out there for 3 months with a backhoe and full of bulk and ground on the field area, it's just full.
I say flooding was my only concern, saying it through the historical conversation with you guys, that nobody wanted a waterfront property.
Yes, I know.
Trying to avoid that. I'm really excited to see this. I know you guys have worked really hard on trying to come up with something and we knew this was an issue that needed to be addressed. So yeah, I mean, just as long as it.
One way to do it would be to start.
Hang on one second. Do you guys have anything to add here, clarification as far as where we're at or anything, just to minimize side chatter and conversation we can all hear?
Yeah, I had one question on the future drive location. I mean, I'm assuming that would probably just continue and connect to 126.
Yeah, and it looks like the way I'm reading it is just another L, if you were, another rectangle, if you
Yeah.
will.
I'm just, I'm not super familiar with the city code on access spacing along 126, but are we meeting city code for spacing between accesses? I mean, the ones to the west look kind of tight, but I mean, those have probably been there for a very long time and supersede the city code, but you know, I just want to make sure, I mean, as 126 develops both east and west, we're gonna, what the developers and property owners maintain sufficient access space, and I want to make sure the city is doing our due diligence to make sure that we're getting the city for ourselves.
Sure. Also on that future drive, according to the code, it would have to be concrete and have to be paved, so that would have to be, if they wanted to gravel on the drive, that they would have to give variance.
Would it make sense then to maybe then do a one main entrance and exit? Kind of seal off the gravel slightly?
No. We have no way.
No, well, I meant like no access from 126, just, but have like one main, but you can still go in and then go down each individual. Again, I think we might be getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah,
with some of
yeah.
this.
Then it would turn into the matter of turning around and getting back out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And not disturbing the residents and
Yeah.
their front doors.
If you'd start selling cemetery plots farther east first and work your way back to that road. I've been to a few funerals, I've done a few pallbearers, I've been in and out with limos and do their driveways here are no tighter than some of the other cemeteries. It's not like an expressway. Everybody parks on the road anyway in there because that's the access they walk across. But if you start farther away and work your way back, then you don't have the hassle. And you don't have to carry it over stones and running graves and everything.
So we would limit people to like one section versus, like if we start in the east, but they said, but I want one on the north side, you know, I want this specific spot. So we're saying we wouldn't allow for that.
Well, they can't die for 30 years until that be a school.
Well, if you look at the drawing, it looks to me like Chip has accounted for parking to pull off of that east drive into the grass there.
The existing east drive.
Yeah.
We're trying to-
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I
that-
see how it's kind of set back there and you can
Yeah,
either
that would
wider.
get more-
angle or 2x2, however, it just follow the leader in there type of deal.
And of course, there's those little drives where Ray Digger and everybody can drive through too, just as there is in the old cemetery.
I think there was mention about upping the plot charges for each one. How do you guys feel about that? What are your thoughts about changing pricing?
I
Have
don't
we
see
even
the
discussed
need,
that?
we have not discussed that.
We
at
haven't
all.
really discussed it.
I don't see,
I think we briefly discussed it, but I don't think they were in favor of it.
I mean, that's probably
What do they charge now, do you know?
a
I don't
plus.
know, they're $100 per one full burial per dress.
So 400 for a plot.
For four, yeah.
No designation, whether it's city residents or.
That's for the residents, and then, yep, there's 3 tiers,
Okay.
but that's the cheapest rate.
And how do we compare to other areas?
We're
you
very
know?
low, we're very, very low. And that's why I didn't know it's something to consider, you know, since these are gonna be new plots. Whether we want to place it differently on them. And I'm happy to do some research and just get some area cemetery, municipal cemetery prices for them to look at too. Okay.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and that's something we need help with, because reassign or designate as need be,
Sure.
so.
I think we see, I don't know this for sure, but I think we see more people coming into Elkhart for to buy spaces because we are a lot cheaper than other places. So if we do have such a low fee, is it gonna fill up faster and then we're gonna be out of space again, or is that something they
I
should
think
talk
we should
about?
give the Elkhart residents a break.
Well, yes, I absolutely think
Yeah,
that
it should
maybe
be
for
fire
out of
district.
towners.
Used to be.
Yes, it will.
There is, it's like the second tier is the fire district.
As a fire district, it's clear across, and then you were Joe Logan come in from clear and ever in Egypt, you cost you 3 or 4 times. You can go right out here, and Corey Grove, by 4 blocks around and $50. You go wide open, they're cheap. Go to Loring, they're cheap. Lincoln Cemetery is cheap.
Part of the discovery process, as we just mentioned, and price comparison and then making sure that we're either on par or too low or too high or what have you, so. No, I mean, as long as there's not going to be any issues with, as mentioned by Mr. Adams, as far as the backflowing of water, because I've heard that concern raised before from numerous folks. That's my biggest concern, not that I have a voice in this at all, and we're not voting on anything, we're discussing it. But that would be my number one concern, because I've heard that from numerous sources, is to make sure that that is as best as we can guarantee on the box, so to speak, that's not going to be an issue, so.
Is there a semi-recent stormwater estimate from maybe like the 2020 phase 1 project that would have encompassed that area, you know?
We didn't look,
Didn't think
we
so.
talked about it, but we didn't
Right.
study it. I mean, I don't know how much water's coming through that area.
It's not as bad as it was years ago because of the repairs, but yeah, maybe that's something
I
we
was
need
saying,
to
the
do.
state's put a foot tile in for their new section. They went below the balls.
That might be worth just seeing if we could take a look.
We talked about that too, and maybe, like I said, if you, maybe it doesn't make sense to go west to east, but if you do, and it's starting to get worse and worse, well, maybe you put tile lines in before you start.
We can bring in some dirt too, or
Yeah.
something to build it up a little bit the further east you get and flatten it back out. There's ways to do that, especially with the roadway or the driveway that we could put there is kind of a. I hate to use the word dam, but you could use the drive, we could build the driveway up to keep some of the water from, I'm not an engineer, but it's just a thought as we go through it.
And what if any, and again, all.
I wouldn't be able to go any east of there then after that.
Right, what if any are there, again, DNR stipulations or requirements or anything, I
Yeah,
don't
that's what they're-
know, I just, that's what the, all things to consider and make sure that, I wanna do it, I just wanna make sure it's done right.
Right.
That's, the end of the day, I wanna make sure it's done right, so.
I think save for the acquisition of different land, I think this is the best option I've seen in maybe years of doing this.
Council, if there's no more questions or anything, we'll move on. Thank you guys very much for coming, appreciate it.
Live long and prosper.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. On to number 10, reports of elected officials, city staff, and standing committees. As we've done the last couple months, all of our council and staff are electronically submitted now. The only thing I wanted to add to mine was I was at the cemetery memorial. Not
Oh,
Not-
Memorial Day
the-
observance.
the observance, there's a word I'm looking for, the
Service.
service, yes. I was like, it's not a festival, what is it called? But no, that was the only thing I wanted to add to mine, I thought that was lovely, I lived here for 6 years and I was finally able to make them, so. You guys did a great job with that, thank you very much for that. Council, were there any questions or comments on anything that was submitted by council or by staff? Katie, did you have anything you want to touch on yours, or Deb, or Mike? I'll open up, just freelance.
I don't believe so. I try to keep you informed with my updates and then through this report, so.
Oh, tomorrow they're opening up the time capsule for ECBC. There'll be food trucks here, so I just make sure that anybody wants to get out and see the time capsule that's open and see what's in it. And have some food and hang out. That'll be fine tomorrow at 6. So,
Where is it?
here,
Here,
I know,
right here.
right here.
Yeah.
well, not right there, on
Where
the
the
outside.
flagpole is, that's where it's buried.
22, how old is it?
50 years, 1976, right?
And the food trucks will be here at 5, right?
Yes.
According to the post, so they'll be here early.
Technically, it's 49 months, or 49 years, 11 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it'll be like a hamburger kind of food truck and then burrito.
In the capsule or the food elsewhere?
So everybody come see it. It's gonna be.
I mean, we literally don't know.
Yeah.
Burritos in there.
No, I think it'll be really exciting. I plan to be here for it as well, not that that makes it small, but just something to see and just see what's there, and what's in
So
there.
what do you do with what's in there then after you open it up?
So they're gonna, put them in the glass boxes, I believe, maybe, and then display them at the festival, for everybody to see. It's gonna be on a hay rack, and then all the items will be in the glass boxes, so everybody can walk by and see them and see what's in it. I'm hoping that there's a bunch of water in it, so they'll all be preserved very nicely, so.
That's been of expressed
be-
concern, personally, yes.
It'll be a surprise.
bring, like old school real style projectors like that? We would need
Stream it live too.
Yeah, I
On
know better,
Facebook.
I know Better McVitie was gonna stream it live, assuming I can get here, I can stream it live on the city's page as well, I think that'd be appropriate, so.
Yeah.
Just more eyes, more views, so.
Yeah, I think so. It'll be a good time.
Gonna be mainly pictures.
Yeah, that's fine too. Whatever's in there is great.
I know what's in there.
I'm sure you do.
Any hints, Mr.
We'll
Adams?
figure it out.
I think we'll all figure it out at the same time.
I already know.
Do we know what we're gonna do with the stuff afterwards? And I think that was a discussion. I think they were just gonna give it to City Hall, and City Hall is gonna take care of it.
That's fine.
And I think they're
No,
I think there are gonna be people that are saying, you know, my grandma left this in there for me, so we're gonna have to
yeah,
take care of that stuff, and then are we gonna put stuff back in the time capsule? Do we know what's gonna be that's gonna be, or do we just say, hey, if you wanna put something in, bring it, like, do we know? what we're
we'll
gonna do?
brainstorm some ideas. We don't have an actual action plan together
Okay.
for resealing it and everything.
We're not in a
but-
hurry either.
No, I think it'll be probably sometime July.
Yeah, we'll think of,
It's just gonna be one little SD card. It's gonna be really easy.
That's no fun.
but we can keep the items at City Hall, until we figure out what we're gonna do with them.
Okay. Sounds good.
I'll just scramble in 50 years to find an SD card.
That'll be like Jumanji when you tap your chest and chest.
My air tag battery died, who's that?
Yeah.
That's kids with floppy disks.
Very good, moving on then. Mike, did you have anything? I'm sorry.
We met, we discussed top line, but there was nothing we took action on.
And I know you'll have, we approved it earlier in the consent agenda, but you'll have an opening coming
Yes,
soon.
there's an opening now,
Yeah, so yeah, officially it's now, that's, 40 minutes ago, give or take, so.
so I'll get with Katie or whatever and get something posted on that.
Okay. No,
Katie can just take care of it for me.
We will post it tomorrow.
Very good. To number 11 then, capital improvements plan work session.
Okay, so we originally met in our first workshop was late January, and so we made some changes to the original capital improvements plan. I kind of listed in the memo what changes you can see. So we have some more detailed cost estimates from Beanstar and Kim along with each project. And then additionally, there was I believe 1 or 2 projects that did not score high enough to get on the scale for this upcoming CIP, so those were taken off. And then we had some projects moved around a little bit, just like placed on by your priority that you discussed wanting to move those around. So I just wanted to bring this to your attention with this workshop again, and Jordan is here to discuss any questions you might have with some of the capital projects. And then I do have PFM is currently working on the funding sources to get those confirmed for July. So I had planned for July, we set the public hearing date, and then in August formally adopt the plan. So this is just another work session to make sure that we're on track, we're all on the same page with the spreadsheet and all of the projects in this order. In that PowerPoint, I believe there's a page that lists out how they all scored again too, if you want to refer back to that.
I presume Public Works is still on board with this order and arrangement.
Oh,
It
yeah,
Still works for them. Okay.
Yeah, I include Ron on, all the correspondence, so. And he was with you guys, so he
Right.
scored this project too.
As I went through this, there's one thing that's listed on, beyond fiscal year 2031. Be curbing guttering on the western side of town. And that was been proposed recently as we go through the stormwater phase 2 and 3 or 2.5 or 2 or whatever we wind up calling it and doing. A hypothetical question, rhetorical question, would it be worth doing it all at once as opposed to doing it and then tearing it up again and doing it again, and then tearing it up again and doing it again, which sounds kind of counterproductive to me and wasteful, but not looking for an answer, but just bringing that up as far as how things were initially scored, but as conversations continued and ideas and thoughts and whatnot, so.
A lot of feedback we've received with the RFQ that we sent out recently. A lot of the feedback came back recommending that we split projects up.
Yeah.
Because of the funding aspect of it, it's harder.
That is true, that's right.
You have a better chance of getting funding when you split them up.
You are correct.
The sanitary sewer railroad crossing for that fiscal year, fiscal year 27, the 301 number, is that to repair the existing, or was that, because I see that on the next year, there's the rehabilitation between Maple and Walnut of the sanitary, was that putting in the new line? Just making sure.
So the crossing, the 301 number is for boring a new line under the tracks. And I don't know for sure that has to be done. I think a little more study needs to.
Yeah, that's the email.
Look back before we do that, but, and then the one between Maple and Walnut, that's just lining that segment.
The one that's already there.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think doing some.
That's what because at one point we had talked about potentially, just because of how it all flowed, if we needed to put a new one in, it would potentially go between buildings right over, kind of between Maple and Walnut. That's why it was underneath the railroad tracks. So, okay, I just wanted to clarify they weren't the same.
And I wanted to make sure I was getting the right things too, because
Yeah,
I know that the longer Katie and I talked about this, I'm like, maybe council doesn't know the same things I know, because Katie didn't know everything that I knew, but.
Yeah, it's getting it together. I know Travis and Ron have been in contact with you guys about getting that televised again and getting that straightened out. So that's good. Okay, just wanted to clarify the two different projects. And then to clarify, the gentleman that was here earlier with the corrective asphalt materials, that was strictly for 126, correct? That had nothing to do with the city streets.
Correct.
Okay,
Yep.
that's what I thought. Just
That's,
wanted to
yeah,
double check.
that is, Ron kind of identified that area, 126, as what we were going to focus on for the improvements project for this year, so.
So with the asphalt and street overlay that's budgeted for fiscal year 27, be targeted for that project then?
Yes.
So then we would be skipping a year potentially of in the
Yes.
industry.
Because part of it, he wasn't able to mention, but part of it is that material, it, forms better in the fall, when you lay it in the fall. So.
That makes sense.
That's why we're not in a rush to get anything done this summer, still, it would be this fall, we do that.
Just, so $2 per square yard, do we have an idea of how many square yards that
I
was?
believe his quote that he gave us was like 57,000.
Okay, so it'd be close to what we had already budgeted for the overlay, it's true there. Okay. My question.
But we can get an updated quote from him, and I'll share it with you all.
What I would ask on that is to make sure there isn't any major areas in town that skipping a year would cause any big repairs.
Okay.
As opposed to just using. Because if there's still one specific or two specific hypothetical areas in town that absolutely should not wait another 12 months, then we would need to consider that in the scope of everything too. So,
Yep, I will do that.
thank you. But otherwise, I think this looks exactly like we've been talking about, and all infrastructure based. The water main improvements, that was to get rid of some of the older piping, correct, that had the coating on it that we had concerns with, or what was that specifically, Jordan?
The one that Katie and I talked about, at least, is just running a new one along 126
Oh, okay.
to get more pressure out there and get some movements right enough to the park.
Okay.
But
So
also
that was-
sizes your mains kind of around that area too. So. But probably consider that benefit as well.
I would ask that anything that moves west is part of any development we do west, and as part of that connection fee district, or however we want to structure that, we can recoup some of that back from developers. That would be my preference there, as opposed to SRF funds. Potentially, I mean, I know that's a perfect world, but if we can get the sanitary sewer railroad crossing done, we know that our westward expansion is full steam ahead, is the right opportunities come, so maybe we use that as an opportunity to build that water line out there as opposed to paying for it ourselves. But I know we ranked it as a priority, I'm not, because we need the looping and all those things, but we did just spend 700 and whatever years ago getting the one that runs along Main Street all the way out to the, you know what I mean, to the industrial park put in, so spending another 300,000 on something similar.
We charge for connection fees to developers now because
We will when it develops,
I
yes.
was gonna say, because, everywhere else charges it. I mean, I know in Ankeny, I'm paying $170,000 for connection fees.
Yeah, we have that district set up, it just, nobody's built west yet, because we can't get, we gotta get the sanitary line fixed before west can happen.
Sometime last calendar year, I want to say that went into effect, or maybe one before that.
Wow.
I remember
It's been a
talking-
while.
It was before Katie was here. But anyways, I just wanted to make sure we're not spending money on a project. So out of those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, take the streets out, 4 projects, I would put that as pretty safely number 4, because I think we can drag our feet on that until we start getting some more development.
What?
The water main
Okay,
improvements.
so you want this,
Oh, I don't, it's just an opinion. Leave it where it's at, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's number 4 for a reason on that one. I don't know if that was arbitrary, that it just happened to be number 4, or if it was, okay. Just my opinion on that one.
And what's the rest of the council thing?
Yeah, what do you guys-
Comments?
I say this looks like what we talked about, so.
Yeah.
I know Jill, that's, you're in that field, and Travis, you're obviously also in that field, and Ian, you drink water, so.
You-
I worry more about it coming down than.
Yeah.
No,
I want to make sure everybody had an opportunity to, whatever they was on their mind, or.
I have nothing else to really add for what Brandon said and what the revenue group said, so. It's looking.
Is there anything else we wanted to as part of our work session, or?
This all falls in line with our comp and stuff
yes,
as well.
yes.
Okay.
I would just say one point of clarification. So if the curbing and guttering, if it's suggested that it gets pulled out as a separate project, would we want a place to put that on the CIP, or do you account for that somewhere that I'm just not thinking of it? Yeah. Because if that truly does get pulled out, not that that's unexpected or anything, but that means in the next 5 years, none of those curbing and gutterings or things that we talked about are on the CIP. So before we adopt something final, we would want to give some thought to if those are separate projects, gathering project costs.
Yep.
Right? And trying to come up with an idea of funding sources for those, just the same as we are with phase 2 and phase 3.
Curbing and gutter and what,
Just
the
that
west side, not 126. but
Yeah, anything that isn't, because I know some of the proposals that came in B&K specifically, because it's the fresh one in my head, had some nice drawings of what like some of the roads would look like with, as they do the stormwater repairs, curb and guttering and sidewalks could be put in specifically down Grand. I know that on the east side of the road specifically, and then I had my map pulled up a second ago, but there was another road as well where curbing and guttering had been put in and sidewalks had been lined as part of the repair. So I know it can be included in that project, but if we're doing it as a standalone project for the remaining city streets that aren't impacted from that, so we wouldn't be re-tearing it up. This would be a separate project. We would need to account for that in the, down the road, is what I'm saying. So that eventually needs its own line item,
Yeah.
unfortunately, but probably.
I mean, even if you're gonna do it with this project and it's paid for with a grant, it's still expensive, you're gonna.
Correct.
So, I would say yes, it should be.
Probably needs its own line item.
I guess since, again, I'm the newbie over here, I was looking at the last one when we had it and looking at the difference in costs and then going over the itemized things and is there the $70,000 in difference? Is that just because it's been 6 months or was more things added or?
I think we updated, we had, so the first draft that we did for the CIP didn't quite have detailed cost estimates, and
Correct.
then we came back and
Did it,
Jordan helped
okay.
us. I think, I don't know if you want to touch on it.
Yeah, I
on
mean,
the
I just think it's between however many projects we have on here, maybe they all went up by a few $1,000s.
Some went down, some went up, some stayed. I was just
Yeah,
curious why it went up so
A
high.
little bit more instead of doing a
Yeah.
50,000 foot view. So,
Yeah. Thank you.
yeah.
And then the last part of this, something that we've talked about with the comp plan, the comprehensive plan that's getting put into place is the cohesiveness that's being built between the comprehensive plan, the city codes and ordinances, and the CIP, and making them one thing as opposed to having three separate things happening outside of each other. So as we go through and we're looking at the comp plan, I know Johnny, your email mentioned that Parks, they're meeting this week, took a look at making sure the Parks plan aligns with the comp plan. And I think things like cemetery expansion, that aligns with our comp plan. I think we're doing a really good job of making sure all those things are in order, but my request is as we go through these things, we make sure that we're looking at all of the things, because Jill, you mentioned it a few times about the graveling. It's not part of city code. I love that. That is the way we need to be thinking about all of these growth things as they come together as one cohesive thing. And as we continue to do these projects and we continue to invest these funds, there's costs that come with all this, costs to us as residents, costs to everybody that lives here, and making sure that we're not duplicating those things by going back and checking our baseline plan, our foundational plan, the comp plan is paramount. So just wanted to say that. I don't really know why, but I appreciate all the effort that's being put into it. Katie, Deb, you guys are doing a fantastic job. Thank you.
Anything else we need to discuss, touch on, another section, subject, anything?
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on then.
Can I
No.
give a
Yes.
shout out to Deb for getting close to the certified municipal clerk? That's fantastic. It's a great benefit to the city and we appreciate all the effort you're putting into that. I was happy to hear about that. Yeah, well, necessary for us. Thank you. Motion to adjourn.
To announce number 12 first.
I tried to get them out of here. That were.
I know. On to number 12.
Motion to adjourn.
Second by Warnke, Nichols, Warnke, Edler,
Aye.
Schaefer,
Hi.
Forrest. Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Yes, sir.